Pancetta can be purchased in any Italian specialty store, and I am starting to see it more and more in some of the supermarkets. A little bit of olive oil in our pan just to get that started. Actually going to put a little bit of butter in this as well. We put butter in when we're adding olive oil. This way the butter gives off a nice flavor and we don't have to worry about it burning as quickly because we have the olive oil to protect it. Here's our pancetta. Next, I'm going to cut up an onion. Just remember when you're cutting an onion, the key is that you have a sharp knife. If you're using a dull knife, you're going to crush the cells of the onion, thereby giving a lot more internal gas off from the cells and creating a lot more tearing in your eyes. What happens is the onion releases a gas when you cut it. The gas rises because it's lighter than the air, and it actually mixes with your tears in your eyes and forms a compound that's similar to an acid, almost like a sulfuric acid. Your eye, automatically sensing a foreign body, will release the defense mechanism, which is the tear. And until your eye's flushed out completely, it will continue to burn. I slice my onion back and forth so I keep a pretty straight plane when I'm cutting. We're going to use onion for 2 dishes, so I'm going to cut them both at this point, so it's a little bit less work that I have to do. See how I cut the first slice, I spin it around, I cut the second slice, then I have no round edge where I would cut and it would fall apart. So then I can just go right through the center and it all comes apart nicely. Okay, our marinara sauce is simmering wonderfully, and actually the color starts to change to more of an orangey color. Which is really telling you that the heat has penetrated throughout all of the tomatoes. We're getting our pancetta to brown up on the edges slightly. We're going to add about half of the onion into the mixture with the pancetta. Again, this is going to be our carbonara sauce, which is a creamy white sauce. We can put some peas in at the end as a little addition. I'm just trying to keep this moving a little bit. Oh, lost a little piece here. Get back in there. Trying to keep it moving because I don't want those onions to color up. I want them to get tender and translucent. I'll lower the flame down a little bit. And now I think I'm going to drop my different pastas in the water. I have 3 different pots going for the pasta. What we need to do is to salt this water. Get our waters back up to a boil. And we'll drop our pastas in. I'll have to run back and forth to tend to this a little bit. We're using some fettuccine for the carbonara. And we're going to use some mini penny with ridges and some rotini. Give all of that a stir. lid slightly on. This one's already boiling, so there's no need to put the lid on. Check our carbonara again. Onion appears to be pretty tender. Switch spoons and give our marinara a stir. We're actually going to use this marinara sauce for the third recipe. Okay. Now that we have the onion nice and translucent, I'm going to add some light cream to the carbonara. Give that a stir. And save this onion for our last dish. I'm going to crack the eggs and separate them so that I can get just the yolk. I'm going to use the yolk as the finishing agent and the liaison, which means that it'll help the finishing of the sauce and keep it creamy smooth for the carbonara. Drop that one, so we'll just scoop it right back out. All that white off. Okay. Don't need that. Now, I want to just break these yolks up. And I'm going to stir them in to our creamy carbonara. Be careful not to do this when it's too hot, or the eggs will congeal as soon as they hit the hot liquid. You'll have kind of an egg drop soup, which we don't want. So we don't want those eggs to be real lumpy in there. We want them to break apart, mix with the cream, and act as a finishing agent that will also help to thicken this mixture up a bit. Okay. Now that that's cooking, I'm going to switch places, like a circus act here sometimes. Put this other flame on low in the back. Keep that simmering. We'll take a quick check on our different pastas. I always feel like that guy in the circus that's spinning the plates, and he starts the one down at the end and he keeps going back down, and that one's slowing up and he runs back, and you have 6 different things going at the same time, which actually we do have 6. A little bit difficult to keep track of, and usually I depend on people in my audience to watch things, and then I can pass the blame off if something burns. Just tell them, well, you didn't watch it, it burned. But here tonight, we just have you folks out there, so phone in immediately if you see something burning. Another little stir of this marinara, and then we will lower this one down. I believe this is just about done. So let me take a little taste with my tasting spoon. Okay. Put some fresh cracked pepper. We're at the end process now, just the seasoning. And we need a little bit of salt. Just keep track of your spoons. Don't mix them up. We have a stirring spoon and a tasting spoon. Tasting spoon doesn't go in the pot. I keep replenishing the tasting spoon with the stirring spoon. One more pinch of salt and a touch more pepper, and that one will be good.